Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Miss Fatima Khalid from Multan Public School and College. I hope that all of you are fine. Now we are going to start chapter number 4, which is about mixtures. So let's start. What is mixture? Mixture is an impure form of matter, means it is made up of two or more elements or compounds which are physically combined together. Students, in the formation of mixture, chemical reactions are not involved. So, we can say that the components in a mixture combine physically, not chemically. The components of a mixture may be in the form of solids, liquids, or gases, and the ratio of components is not fixed in the formation of mixture. Students, here are some examples of mixture: salt solution, air, mineral water, and alloys. Salt solution is the mixture of two compounds, salt and water. Air is the mixture of different gases. Mineral water is the mixture of minerals and water. And alloys are formed by mixing metals with small amount of other metals or non-metals to make them stronger and harder than the pure metal. There are two types of mixtures. Number 1, homogeneous mixture. Number 2, heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture has uniform composition and we cannot distinguish the components of homogeneous mixture. For example, coffee, chocolate, and juice have uniform composition, so they are homogeneous mixtures, while heterogeneous mixture does not has uniform composition and we can distinguish all the components of heterogeneous mixture easily. For example, salad and fruit salad do not have uniform composition, so they are heterogeneous mixtures. Here are some properties of mixtures. Number 1, no chemical reaction takes place during the formation of mixture, means the components combine physically for the formation of mixtures. Number 2, no energy is exchanged with the surroundings during the formation of mixture. Number 3, mixtures can be separated into their components by physical methods, for example, filtration and evaporation. Number 4, the components of a mixture mix up in any ratio. Their ratio is not fixed. Number 5, mixtures have the properties of their components. For example, if the components are colorless, then the mixture will also colorless. Number 6, mixtures do not have any formula. Students, here are some separation techniques for mixtures. By the help of these separation techniques, we can separate mixtures easily. Number 1, filtration. Number 2, evaporation. Number 3, distillation. Number 4, fractional distillation. And number 5, chromatography. Filtration. Filtration is the process of separating an insoluble solid from a liquid in a solid-liquid mixture. For example, muddy water is a mixture of mud and water. Mud is the solid component of muddy water and water is the liquid component of muddy water. So, we can separate the components of muddy water by the process of filtration. Students, for the process of filtration, conical flask, filter paper, funnel and beaker are used as operators. First of all, we will put funnel on the top of the conical flask. After that, we will place filter paper in the funnel and then we will pour muddy water in the funnel. As a result of this, mud particles will not pass through the filter paper and they will trap by the filter paper due to their large size. These mud particles are known as residue, and the water will pass through the filter paper and it will collect in the conical flask as a filtrate. In this way, we can separate the components of a mixture by the help of filtration. Evaporation. Evaporation is basically the process of separation of a solid solute and a liquid solvent. Evaporation occurs on the surface of a liquid and liquid converts into vapor state due to air or heat. For example, salt solution is the mixture of salt and water. If we want to obtain salt from water, we should use the technique of evaporation instead of filtration. With the help of filtration, we cannot separate salt from water because salt will pass through the filter paper with water. But in the case of evaporation, we can separate salt from water. First of all, we will heat the salt solution. As a result of heating, the water will evaporate, but the salt will not evaporate and it will obtain as a residue. In this way, we can separate salt from water with the help of evaporation. Distillation. Distillation is used to obtain the liquid solvent from a solution or to separate a mixture of liquids with different boiling points. For example, salt solution is the mixture of salt and water. Students, if we want to separate water from salt solution, then we can use the technique of distillation. You can see in the diagram that there is a mixture of salt and water in the distillation flask. First of all, the salt solution is heated in the distillation flask. After that, the water of the salt solution boils and changes into steam. With the help of thermometer, we can see the temperature of the steam. After that, the steam goes into the condenser. Condenser cools the steam and condenses it back into the liquid water. This liquid water, this condensed water is collected in the beaker and now it is known as distillate. In this case, the distillate is a pure water and the salt is left behind in the distillation flask residue. Fractional distillation. Fractional distillation is a technique which is similar to distillation. It is used to separate a mixture of liquids with different boiling points into different fractions or parts by using fractioning column or tower. For example, crude oil is a mixture of different types of oil. All the types of oil which are present in crude oil have different boiling points. For the separation of these different types of oils which are present in crude oil, we use fractioning column or tower in fractional distillation. You can see in the diagram that first of all, crude oil is heated in a furnace. After that, the different types of oils which are present in crude oil boil at different temperatures in fractioning column or tower. Then these oils are collected at different parts or fractions of fractionating column or tower. In this way, we can separate all the types of oils which are present in crude oil with the help of fractioning column or tower in this technique of fractional distillation. Chromatography. Chromatography is a technique which is used to separate, analyze and identify different components in mixtures. like inks, food colorings, and fruit juices. The simple form of chromatography is paper chromatography. For example, if we want to separate ink into its components, we can use the technique of paper chromatography. For performing paper chromatography, first of all, we will take a filter paper and then we will draw a line on the filter paper which should be above 2 cm from one end of the filter paper, and then we will put dot of ink on the line. In the second step, we will take a chromatographic container and then we will fill it with a small amount of water. After that, we will place that filter paper in the container. The level of the water should be low from the line which is present on the filter paper. In the third step, we will cover the container with a lid and then we will see that water will start to move in the upward direction on the filter paper, and on the same time ink will start to separate into its components. After some time, we will see the components of ink on the filter paper. Then we will take out filter paper from the container. After drying the filter paper, we will see the dyes components of ink on the filter paper. In this way, we can separate ink into its component by using the technique of chromatography. Dear students, this was your whole chapter. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.